Good morning, everyone. Myself, Sri Charita Amani. Today, I'm going to explain a very important topic in Java programming, that is loops. So, without wasting the time, let's get started. So, before starting the topic, I would ask what are loops. So, for your kind information, I would say that loops are the sequence of instructions that is continuously repeated until a certain condition is reached. So, to be clear, I would say loops are used for repeated executions of a block. There are following types of loops in Java. One is while loop, and the second one is do while loop. Last but not least, that is for loop. From next slide, I would explain all the types of loops. The first type of loop is while loop. The Java while loop is a control flow statement that allows the code to be executed repeatedly based on the given condition. It is used to iterate a part of the program repeatedly until the specific Boolean condition is true. In simple words, I would say while loop is used to repeat a specific block of a code an unknown number of times. In while loop, the condition is evaluated first, and if it is written true, then the statement inside the while loop will be executed. This happens repeatedly until the condition returns false. While loop is divided into two types, that is test expression, update expression. Test expression in sense, in this expression we have to text the condition. If the condition evaluates to be true, then we can execute the body of the loop and go to update the expression. Otherwise, we will exit the form in the while loop. The second one is update expression. Update expression can be said as after executing the loop body, this expression increment or decrement the loop variable by some value. The following program is the demonstration of while loop. This is an program which can try to print hello world for 5 times. In this, control falls into the while loop. The follow jumps to the condition. Context is test, and first, if condition yields to be true, the flow goes into the body. If the condition yields to be false, the flow goes outside the loop. The statement inside the body of the loop gets executed. Updatation takes place, control the flow back of step 2. The do while loop has ended and flow has gone outside. Now you can see the hello world has been printed for 5 times. The second type of loop is do while loop. It is used to iterate a part of program repeatedly until the specified condition is true. It is controls a flow statement that executes a block of code at least once and then repeatedly executes the block or not depending on the given Boolean condition at the end of the block. The do while loop is also called as the exit control loop. In simple words, it can be defined as the do while loop is a variant of while loop. This loop will execute the code block once before checking if the condition is true. Then it will repeat the loops as long as the condition is being true. In the same way, whereas while loop has two types, in the same way, do while loop is also having two types. They are condition expression and updated expressions. The following program is one of the example of do while loop. Do while loop starts with an execution of the statements. There is no checking of any condition for the first time. After the execution of the statements and update of the variable value, the condition is checked for the true or false value. If it is evaluated to the true, next iteration of loop starts. When the condition becomes false, the loop terminates, which marks the end of the life cycle. It is very important to note that the do while loop will execute its statement at least once before any condition is checked and therefore is an example of exit control loop. The last type of loop is for loop. For loop, it is a repetition control structure that allows us to efficiently write a loop that needs to be executed a specific number of times. Example, if you want to check the grade of every student in the class, we loop from 1 to the number. In simple words, we can say if a loop provides a coherent way of writing the loop structure, unlike the while loop, a first statement consumes the initialization condition and increment or decrement in one line, thereby providing a shorter, easy to debug the structure of looping. The following program is an example of for loop. Java also includes another variation of for loop introduced in Java. Enhancer for the loop provides a simple way to iterate through the elements of a collection of an array. It is an inflexible and should be used only when there is a need to iterate through the element in a sequential manner without knowing the index of currently proceeded element. Also note that object or a variable is evaluated when enhanced if the loop is used. That is, it ensures that the value in the array cannot be modified. So it can be set as read-only loop where you can't update the value as an opposite to the other loop where values can be modified. The represented flowchart is a flow diagram for loop. The first part is initializing the condition. Here, we initialize the variable in the use. It makes the start of a for loop. An already declared variable can be used or a variable can be declared local to the loop only. The second part comes texting condition. It is used for texting the exit condition for a loop. It must return to a Boolean value. It is also known as an entry control loop, as the condition is checked prior to the execution of the loop statements. The third one is statement execution. When the condition is evaluated to true, the statement in the loop body are executed. The fourth part is increment or decrement. It is used for updating the variable for next interaction. Last but not least is loop termination. When the condition becomes false, the loop terminates, marking the end of its cycle. Coming to the last part of the session, I think, everyone has understood about this video. We studied that what are loops, what are the types of loops. For your instant remembering, I would again acknowledge the video. First, we studied what are loops. Looping is a programming language in which a feature which facilitates the execution of set of instructions or functions repeatedly while some condition evaluates to be true. The types of loops are while loop, for loop, and do while loop. The first while loop is a control flow statement that allows the code to be executed repeatedly based on the given Boolean condition. The while loop can be throughout of a repeating statement. And the second loop we studied is for loop. For loop provides a consistent way of writing the loop structure. Unlike a while loop, a for statement consumes the initialization condition and increment decrement in one line, thereby providing a shorter, easy to debug the structure of looping. Last but not least is do while loop. Do while loop is a similar to while loop with only difference that it checks for condition after executing the statement and therefore it is execute. Therefore, it's an example of exit control loop. At last, we have studied about the flow diagram of flowchart. In that flowchart we are having five parts, that is, one is initializing the condition, the second one is testing the condition, third one is statement execution. By the way, in the second part, texting condition, it is also known as an entry control loop. Fourth one is increment and decrement, and the fifth one is loop terminating. So that you have understood the video very well. Thank you.